Starts, okay?
Okay, so we're taping now.
Camera 1, recording.
Ready? Go. 1, 2.
Camera 2. Go ahead.
All right.
Action.
Hey, Latinos on the move. I got a red treat, a surprise treat. I have the Senator, Victor Torres, here with me, and he's graciously decided just to hang out for a minute. So let's take a quick talk with him about what's going on out there, okay? Victor, always a pleasure, man. You know, I love you. It's always good hanging with you.
Likewise, it was. I was concerned. I've asked about you several times already. So.
Oh, thank you.
And
well, you know, I'll explain to you off air about other things in life, how life changes sometimes.
I understand.
Where you're going.
I understand.
But I'm glad that we're doing this new thing.
Good.
We're gonna go out and talk to everybody.
Expanding is cool.
Expanding. Yeah.
Expanding.
And so we're gonna talk to everybody on where they live. We're gonna talk about Latinos. We're gonna talk about your culture. Talk about your mama if we had to. You know what I'm saying? So
Nothing wrong with that. Mine is 99 years old.
God bless.
You know, so.
God bless. So, Latino and a senator, man. Who would have thunk it? You know, like 10 years ago.
20 years ago. 30 years ago.
Or it never happened. They would say, no way.
No way. No way. Remember, like yourself, being in the force, looking at the days that I was in the subways in the hole in New York, and counting the tiles on the wall, and looking at my life and working from 8 to 4 in the morning, and never in my wildest dreams I was just trying to get through the day, and seeing what lies ahead every day that I left my home.
Right.
But
and
today,
wondering if you come home.
if you come home, yeah. Today, during that time, it was the Black Panthers, the FLAN, the Weathermen, the pipe bombs, and all that. Today, I look at the young officers getting killed. Most recently, that young lady up in the Bronx.
Assassinated.
Yeah. And you figure, you know, I had this in my mind. You get a sweet detail. You're in the mobile van.
Yeah, which is supposed to be great.
Great. You're not walking around. You're not
air conditioned.
Right. You're nice and comfortable.
Yes.
And sometimes you start to second guess yourself. It says, I probably would have been the same way, relaxing, cool, you know, and not paying attention.
Who's gonna think like that? You just been working your tail off, and you know, maybe the day before, the week before. Somebody, as you said, offers you a grand relaxation. Not you're not paying attention. It's just a different set of eyes that you're gonna look at something. Right. Who knew a knucklehead was gonna come?
Yeah. My son is a sergeant at NYPD in New York, and I always my theory in life is always be alert. Your surroundings.
Sure.
Even for young folks who are out there every day, who get out of their cars or go to school, just watch who's around you, because you never know who's watching you.
Okay.
That's my thing.
I agree.
You know, quien está velándote, who wants to harm you.
Yeah.
You know, so there's a lot of precaution, a lot of things that in life, and especially today, we have to look out for our young children.
I'm thinking when we were growing up, we had gangs, we had
gangs,
turmoil.
drugs.
Okay.
We had
somehow we didn't get to this level that we're doing here now.
No.
So is it something in the cornflake the kids have been eating, changed them up? What is it?
My parents, I would say, had a lot to do with it. They were working class.
Yeah.
You know, like you said,
they don't play. They don't play.
My mom and my father never. We grew up on the west side, and we had the gangs and the drugs.
Yeah.
Pero viejo mío, he says, I want you home at a certain time.
You'd be there.
You'd be in the house.
That's right.
Respect. And he didn't have to be, because he worked long hours and late hours, but it was a question of that we respected what my father and my mother, you know. And to the very day that as grown men and women, always responsibility.
Yeah.
You're accountable for your actions.
Yeah.
You're accountable for what you do. So as an elected official, I find the first 4 years, I never expected this. It was a blessing. But I find that I want to inspire new people.
Okay.
Because I look at my daughter, I look at the young people that are coming up and getting educated.
That must be great having your daughter Running, following in your footsteps.
Well, it's great, and also she puts me in check.
How does she put you in check?
She will straighten me out in a heartbeat. She has.
Well, that's good, isn't it?
Oh yeah, because she'll say, no, it's not this, it's this way, or this is what involves in this issue. So she's knowledgeable and very sincere about her views, and I like that, because I come from labor, I come from the working class. She has business administration. Sure. She has a background. She has the education. But like you said, I'm a people's man. I'm for the families out there, man. To me, it's like what you bring to the table.
Sure. And your word.
And my word.
Your palabra. That's the most important thing out there.
That's right.
So when you talk about this legislation and things that you want to change, is it difficult to put your word out there, knowing that there's so many changes against the things that you want to do?
Yeah, sometimes it's difficult for people to understand. The odds are against you. Yeah. Even though you want to legislate good bills and allocate money for good projects.
Right.
But you know what, Jose, you don't give up. I was in the Marines. I mean, the Marine Corps showed me.
Yeah.
Semper Fi was always faithful. It means you stand for what you believe in.
Sure.
And if it's something good and it's something where the community needs, let's work for it. The education is one of the biggest problems that we have here. That last bill, 7069, is taking money from our public schools into the charter schools. Just today, about half an hour ago, I had a person that I know from labor. She said to me, she has a relative who just graduated from a charter school, but he can't get the transcripts that he graduated because the charter school closed.
Whoa.
See, people don't know that.
Yeah.
People don't know that.
Yeah.
Where do those records go when a charter school closes?
Sure.
These are the things that we have to keep. It keeps on rising to the level of who knows about this.
Yeah.
Does the Department of Education know about this?
Well, no. They've turned education, I think, into a business. And I didn't
Make money.
I wasn't sure our education was business. I thought it was sometimes an enlightenment. You go from a squirrel with just one nut to learn about being a squirrel and having 5 nuts. You know what I'm saying? So, but the charter schools seem to be, let's put them in charter schools because we have no accountability in public schools. That's one of the issues too against public schools.
Well, the public schools have accountability. The problem is that you're dealing in vast numbers of students who are individuals with different economic or social problems.
Okay.
So remember that the teachers there is facing 25 to 30 kids, and each one of those children have a different background.
All right.
So some of them are better off, some of them in the middle of the road, and some of them are going home to no food, no place to stay, domestic violence in the house.
Right.
So these are situations that, our public schools and our teachers, I give the teachers credit for what the work they do. It's not an easy task. But the charter schools always deal with a smaller group of kids. They pick and choose what kids go into their schools. They're not accountable for the teaching, or they're not accountable for who teaches them, because like the public schools, you have to be certified.
Sure.
And you have to follow a plan that's submitted to the principal that gives what subject you're teaching in that class.
But people say there's too much bureaucracy in education. How do we take the bureaucracy out and go back to education?
They set the standards to make it harder. Department of Education.
Okay.
So it started here, and it's pushed down to this local level.
Okay.
So what happens is that what it used to be when we were growing up, going to school,
right.
you took your weekly exam, your quiz, and right, and the teacher would know how you were doing,
sure.
and Victor, you need to study on your math a little bit more.
Right.
Your parents would know spelling, history, and all this. Right. Well, we've taken all that, and we into testing.
We do a lot of testing.
A lot of testing, that's all it's
I know
about.
my little guy's testing all the time.
So
we do tests more than education sometimes.
So how do you change that? You have to stop the testing. Use the testing in a format that it will evaluate that child better.
Right.
And you know where their weaknesses and their strengths are at.
Is that a social worker issue, or do you think that's an educational issue?
Both.
Okay.
I think it's both.
So you're saying the teacher has to be like a police officer,
Teacher.
a social worker, a police officer?
Who spends most of the time with the kids?
Yeah, the teacher.
You said it.
Yeah.
The teacher's there 8 hours, 10 hours. The teacher's the one who sees that kid and says, there's something wrong with Jose. So, hey, Jose, come here, I want to talk to you.
All right.
What's wrong? Tell me.
Okay.
You were an A student when you started the class,
Yeah,
and now you're an F student.
Yeah, what happened? Yeah, the school got to get more involved. Real quick, on policing. Policing has changed across the United States. We're losing officers, and we're losing officers for lack of training or budget concerns or everything that affects a police officer's life. Bigger cities perhaps get more of a view than a smaller department, let's say like here in Florida. But I think the training is substantially different in both areas. How do you bring up the departments to be on some sort of equal level so that policing is pretty much the same no matter where you go?
Well,
I know that's a very open question.
That's an open, yeah. I mean, what you do in New York doesn't mean you do in Florida. Basically, the situations that happen in New York tend to happen here. It will come to that. You have the Pulse incident, right, where the police responded, where they came together to a situation where you would see in major cities.
Sure.
Is the training as the same? I think police departments are getting to that point where they want to be on the same level as the big cities.
Sure.
You know, and have the equipment that they need, the expertise in each individual officer who would lead a team. You know as well as I do, New York. You had the squad, you had the SWAT, you had emergency rescue, you had all the different units.
Sure.
And now they expanded to more units. So the more training you get, the better off the department is.
Overall.
I think that in transit, I remember they had what they call in-service training.
Yeah.
And we were going there every month or every 2 months, and that's to keep up with current law, current techniques, what to look for, individuals or groups of who are out there trying to cause problems. And you know it as I know that when you wear that uniform, you're standing out there and you have a riot condition and I've been through riot conditions in the Bronx and everything else.
Sure.
And you're a target, but you learn to how to carry yourself because not everybody in that area is bad.
Yeah. Right.
There's always just a few.
Yeah.
So yeah, the good people are working there. They live there, and you're just coming by to protect them. But you get exposed to some crazy people out there.
I totally agree with you.
You know.
You're going on vacation, Senator.
You got that.
All right, so I'm going to leave you there with that note. Okay, I want you to have a great trip. We look forward to having you back.
It was great seeing you.
Okay,
You still have the same number, right?
Yes. And I'm the guy who calls and calls and calls while you guys ignore me.
No, I don't ignore you. Your grandson, he runs in a race.
Yes, he ran a race, and you help support him.
Is he still good? He's still doing.
He's still doing his thing. He's in New York right now.
Cool.
But he'll be back soon. And we'll start the football season and all that, and we're going to be doing drives. We'd love to have you come back, come out and meet some of the kids, the young kids that are playing ball.
I want to invite you. We're going to be doing a school backpack in July and August, so
okay.
I'll get you some of the information.
Oh, great.
Right, so this way you can be out there and see what we're doing.
We'll put it out there, and my gang here will all go there, and my new reporter. Okay,
reporter, yeah.
that you'll get to speak to. Okay, so
no problem.
All right.
No problem.
Thank you,
Jose.
God
Pleasure.
bless. Have a drip.
Thank you.
Safe
Stay
trip,
healthy.
Okay? You going out here with a cold?
Yeah, that's all
You
right.
take care. I'm Jose Miranda. This is Latinos on the Move. We're back at you.
Senator?
Yeah.
Can you state your name for this camera and say that it's a pleasure to watch Latinos on the Move?
Sure.
Whenever you're ready, sir.
Senator Victor Manuel Torres Jr., thank you again for Latinos on the move. Is that it?
So you do one more time and say with Jose Miranda.
Okay.
Thanks, sir.
It's Latinos on the move, right?
Yes.
Okay. The Senator Victor Manuel Torres Jr. I want to thank Jose Miranda for Latinos on the move. Thank you again.
Thanks, sir.
Yes.